So wherever we go here, I'm gonna keep centering you back to like how to coach this kind of thing
Yeah.
because this is the question.
Yeah.
So on the fear perspective, obviously that's right. So would you say a good way to relay that message is to try to maintain your speed going through these, whether you're taking a hit or giving a hit, trying to maintain speed. Like as soon as you start to slow up, that kind of tentative part of the game, and obviously you have to read plays. Like there's times where you're gonna have to go slower or whatever.
Yeah.
But that just do it, like just get through it, just keep moving forward, like that kind of stuff. Is that a good way to teach that to the players? How are you relaying this message?
Okay, so in this situation, because there are times where you actually should slow down.
Yep.
Like, okay, so for example, I have it in my notes, but if I'm going down and I'm racing for an icing, I'm a forward or a D, doesn't really matter.
Yep.
If I'm the first guy in and the guy's right behind me, and even if the puck is near the boards, but like if it's within a few feet of the boards, that could be a recipe for disaster. And if you go in there and don't slow down, not all the time, but sometimes if you don't slow down, and you go grab that puck and he's right behind you, you're getting hit twice. Once 3-4 feet from the boards.
And if
it goes well for the other guy, you're going to get hit harder from the boards.
Yep.
So in that situation, you do actually want to angle yourself and slow your feet down, because if you actually slow down and someone hits you while you're stopped, it's harder to hit you.
Yep.
Like it's harder to hurt you. Mm-hmm. But if you go in there with full speed, with room against the boards, you know what I mean by the ice and the end boards?
I totally know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Then that could be a recipe. So now the teaching moment could be take a clip of NHL game, an OHL game, a college game. This is why video is so important. It's not about how much you have to teach. You don't have to even be a great teacher, but you can just say in different situations, you say, okay, why did he slow down? Like you look at a couple, you say, okay, in this case, it was like an icing, or there was a lot of speed going in there, and you could see them both kind of slowing down. Because the other guy doesn't I think everyone loves to give a good hit, for sure. But I don't think anybody really wants to hurt someone. Because when someone actually injures someone, you could see them go, "Oh, I probably did the wrong thing." Right? Yeah. So I think when someone's going in for those hits, I think both people, for the most part, are somewhat aware that this could be ugly.
Yeah.
But from a defensive standpoint, when you go down there, if you can slow down and I'm not saying stop, but sometimes stop, but you slow yourself down to control that body, then you're not going to get hurt. It doesn't happen. So, anyways, from a coaching perspective, look at video and pick out a couple different situations. It's not hard to do. Right. You can watch highlights all over the place. You can watch OHL packages. You watch NHL packs. People have it. Watch video, and it doesn't have to be of your team. Watch NHL guys and what they did.
Yep.
And if you see a guy slow down, you go, "Oh, is he scared?" No, he's protecting himself. Yep. There's a big difference, right?
Totally.
So now another situation would be what I was talking about is if you're coming along, like if you're a right winger on the right-hand side, if you slow down, unless you're making a play and you're reading something, but if you slow down just to avoid the hit, now you're not playing hockey. Now you're not helping your team, you're not helping yourself. You're making, and then that guy owns you. So in that situation, when you're going with speed, if you're really tight to the boards, or like if you know you can get hit, you can actually throw yourself into the boards and squeeze through. They don't hurt.
Right.
They don't hurt unless your head's down and you don't see it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
we'll say situation. So that would be for more avoiding the hits, or how to get yourself through situations where you're going to get hit.
Yeah, well, I think you would say okay.
And then what about when you're the guys giving, just to play the flip side of that too? If you're the guy giving the hit, if you're the tentative guy that doesn't want to give the hit necessarily, or they don't want to go in for the, and I mean this goes back to what I was saying earlier about not being able to time the open ice hit kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think a way you can frame it as a coach, and then you throw your thoughts on this, is it doesn't have to be this big arena crushing hit. Like sometimes it's just contact, and sometimes just getting in the way is enough, especially for kids that don't want to hit. So what would you say if you're the guy throwing the hit now? Obviously there's different situations of how to do it different ways, but what would your teaching points be for that?
Okay. So throwing the hit is way, way, way overemphasized, because the point of hockey is not to throw the hits. When I played, because I had a brain and I had my head up, I could read plays coming. So we had a couple guys in the league. One of them was Brian Marchment. I played with him at under 17. But I remember we were playing in Belleville, and already, even if I didn't know who he was, I saw it coming. So he would be, And he was so good. But he would be able to come and time those open ice hits and crush people. And in the NHL, he had a reputation of taking guys' knees out, which maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. He was tough, man.
Yeah.
But I remember coming down in Belleville, the big ice, and I was getting a puck, you know, may appeared like I was looking behind me, but I was, you know, eyes are looking. I know exactly what's going on. And as he was coming, I just timed it so that as he was trying to hip check me or like open ice kill me, I just took one step and went by him, and I was able to make a play. Yeah. So in that, it's like, so sometimes that is just, if he makes that hit, it's great for his team, but look what it did. So the point is, going for the big hit it's not that important. The purpose of body contact is finishing plays. So the number one thing, the number one objective in the physical game is to what? Hammer someone? No, it's to get the puck.
Separate the puck, yeah.
Separate the puck from the player. So the number one thing is to learn how to get good angles, right? So anytime that you're coming straight on someone like this, all it takes is one fake or one movement, and then you're toast anyways. So what you want to learn in every situation, D zone, neutral zone, and offensive zone, is to learn angles. So which way do you want to push people, right? Your stick will dictate which way they go. So for example, if you're on my right-hand side and I have my stick skating like this, then it's very easy for you to cut to the center. If I'm coming at a straight line with you, then it becomes even easier. Now it's like it's nothing. Now, if I come at you cutting through the middle a bit, like taking an angle, almost coming underneath you, and I have my stick to the middle, so I'm coming at you here, yeah. Stick to the middle on an angle, you have no choice. You can't go that way. If you do, then you're mine.
Yeah.
And if you come up the wall, I'm starting to angle you. So now from that angle, I have an option. I can just only go for the hit.
Yep.
So if I'm the big hitter and I only go for the hit, nothing necessarily good happens because I don't have the puck.
Mm-hmm.
So the most important thing is that when you take an angle, your stick is poking towards the puck. Like it's called stick on puck, right? Yep. Like everyone knows that, yep. I think. So your stick is on puck, but the physical part is, yes, you can hit him, or you can cut him off so that he runs out of room and you cut his hands off,
right.
So he can't make a play. And that's physical enough.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't have to be a big time hitter.
Yeah, this is huge. I want to stick this for a second.
Sure.
So if you're a player that has naturally some of that physicality to your game,
yeah.
and you're a guy that can go throw the big punishing hit,
yeah.
great. Like, yeah. Good for you. But as the coach, if you're trying to relay this to some guys that maybe don't like hitting as much,
yeah.
or they're tentative or whatever,
yeah.
I think that is what the teaching point, that's the important teaching point. It's like,
yeah.
you don't have to be a huge body checker, but you need to use contact effectively to
yep.
separate the puck.
That's right.
So now these kids, maybe they won't necessarily feel the pressure to go in and try to pile drive somebody. They just know, okay, as long as I can just get in his way, separate the puck, there's going to be a little bit of contact, and that might ease their mind thinking about it a little
yeah.
bit, where they don't think,
yeah.
okay, I have to go in and try to crush this guy, because
yeah.
that could be, I was never a guy that was super scared about the contact part of the game.
Right.
I don't remember that being part of how I thought.
Yeah.
So maybe this isn't the best way to frame it, because I wasn't a kid that was scared, so I don't know. But to me, that sounds useful. Like if you say, hey, the point is not have a huge hit, the point is we need to separate puck. And then going back to your point about video, this is where the video can be really useful, because we can't sit here and explain every situation how to hit, because
right.
it's all very
right.
different. So you can use video to see which types of hits are appropriate in which circumstances. Now, I don't know what age group this guy's
15.
Or sorry, not what age group, what level he's
level?
teaching, if it's AAA, AA, AE, whatever. But it doesn't matter, because he can either, the point of me saying that is he could either have a video session,
yeah.
or if it's not that serious because it's a more minor level, then
yeah.
you watch, have the knowledge,
yeah.
and then you can transfer that message to them. The importance of the contact is that puck separation. It's not to rattle the boards with a huge hit.
No.
So the technique part of it, you're going to get that from watching this different situations, because there's lots of different ways to throw a hit. Some guys use hips,
yeah.
some guys use shoulders, some guys use hands.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to do
yeah.
it, and you can watch from that. But I think the biggest technical piece, to get a little off topic, is just making sure you're low enough to be on the winning side of the hit. If you're
yeah.
not low, if you don't have a low center of gravity, then
yeah.
it's going to be hard for you to be, on the better side of the hit if you're not low enough to do that.
Yeah.
So that's the only technical piece. But outside of that, that's a really important message. It's about the separation of the puck. It's not about, and kids may have never heard that before.
Yeah.
They may think when I think body check, I think I gotta rattle the glass with a huge hit. That might be something that's going through their head. So I think that's a way to kind of ease the pressure for kids that don't necessarily play that physical of a role. I don't know if you have thought on that.
No, it's totally 100%. Like the thing is that you end up, you want the puck. That's how you win hockey games.
Yeah.
The only way you score goals is get the puck. So if you run around like an idiot trying to hit people, like there is a piece that might be affected. But that even if you're a big goony team, it gets old after a while because you just get outplayed. You're not going to have the puck.
Well, it's like you said, you play against a player who's any good.
Right.
They can see the plays develop.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point that they can bring up as well. Like good players can avoid the hits.
Yeah.
So if you're running around looking for huge hits, that's not necessarily the best thing to be doing all the time.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of those guys that just has that element where you can do that and you know how to channel it appropriately.